Well, kids, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean right here on the Rock Rage Radio Network. And I have curtain call artist Rich Stafford from the band Metonic. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Hey, how's it going today?
I always have to ask, where do you reside? Because I've been dealing with folks all over the world with curtain call, which has been very cool. So you live where?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Man, I've never been. I've been by, but I've never been. So that's what is the scene like in your neighborhood?
The metal scene here is alive and well. Let's just say that it is. It's very strong, and it's cool to be part of it. I kind of landed right in the middle of this stuff, and it's just been awesome.
There's been a thread going around my personal socials today, and I'm going to throw this out to you. It's a little unscripted, but I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, which is the east coast of Canada, and in our town, we have an original scene that kind of doesn't struggle in terms of support, but struggles in terms of people getting paid when they're participating in it. We have a cover scene that people make money. What is your scene like in terms of your metal scene there? Are you guys able to play and earn a living is such a subjective thing, but are you guys able to play and make some money while you're doing it, or are you strictly doing it to push that ball up the hill?
Yeah, it just kind of depends on on the show itself. Sometimes if it's a big national coming through, we are responsible for a certain number of ticket sales and things like that, and then we can get a portion of that. Other times you get a piece of the door. It just kind of depends. And generally speaking, no, we don't make the money that the tribute bands make.
And it's funny because in south of the border, the tribute bands are really big, and in west of where I live, tribute bands are quite big. We're more of a cover band scene. What can you tell my listeners and viewers about your band?
Well, Metonic, we just released our third album. We had a EP in 2000, a full length with 7 on it in 2022, and then just the 1st of July, we released a 10-song full length called Ghostly Ship.
So that's interesting. So I mean, everybody that I talk to in this business, that some people have the whole, we're going to do the waterfall releases where we'll do them one at a time, and we'll have I guess, them all culminate at the end and release a full length. And then some people just do the full length, and there's different sorts of theories for one versus the other. Your I guess, methodology behind going full length was what?
Well, really, it's, I'm old school anyway, right? So that's just the way that it used to be, and it may not be as efficient in some aspects, but in others, you get the studio time book, you go in and you get everything done. Now, I suppose you could parse that out, and release pieces of it at a time, but with the way that things go today, kind of working on the video side of things anyway. So, YouTube, for example, you get your album released, and then you can stagger the release of videos. You can stagger the release as singles through like y'all and whatnot, and things like that as well. So it's just getting it all out, getting it out of my head. That's super important too, right?
Sure.
But and just getting it released, trying to be more efficient, and because studio time sometimes isn't easy to get, and it's more affordable now than it was, say in the the 80s or something, but still, you try to do the best you can within your budget.
Absolutely, and budgets are important. So I'm here with Rich Stafford here on the Rock Rage Radio Network. And so, in terms of how was your summer? Were you guys busy? Were you doing some shows? How was the summer for you?
So we just got a new lineup put together actually in January, and it took 3 months probably before we're out playing. We're only playing about one show a month currently, sometimes two, but we've been pretty busy, and we do have things scheduled for the future.
Awesome. And I mean, it's hard to believe. I mean, here we are. We got what, 4 or 5 months left of 2024. I was one of those guys that threw down on January 1st and said 2024 will be a banner year. It will be a great year. And, it's been an up and down year for me personally. How was the year for you guys in terms of what you were able to accomplish? Were you able to knock off some goals?
Oh, absolutely. And the first one being, of course, getting the new album created. The band didn't really even was kind of in a state of hiatus at the end of last year, and and then the first of this year picked right back up with some new members, and so goal number one was just to get back up and running, And then goal number 2 was to, write and record. And now we're out, performing and, supporting the new material and going back and having the new members learn some of the older material. So it's a work in progress.
So if I was to say, Rich, you got an elevator pitch here. You got 15 seconds to tell me who, well, I won't say me because I did hear some of your material, but somebody else within my network that hasn't heard your material. You got 15 seconds to pitch them an elevator. How would you describe your band?
Old school metal with a modern twist. And what I mean by that is, take something from 1980 and combine it with something from this year. So it's a different timing in some situations, but really it's about the vocals, some clean vocals, some growly vocals, some death metal vocals, all kind of meshed together depending on what the song needs.
Well, and that's it's funny because when you say the throwback with the new, a lot of people don't realize in the late 80s, when some of those metal guys were putting those albums together, Metallica immediately comes to mind. They were using recording techniques that weren't very well used, like punches in and different punching in and different sorts of things like that. Are you guys taking advantage of technology, or are you still trying to keep it the old and real? And well, I won't say old, but vintage and real, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, no, they're digital recordings. The studio that we use, Session Work Studios in Hearst, Texas. We use the great Jeff Mount, and he is, a world-renowned producer, engineer. He really, really knows his stuff. When we go digital, we could go onto tape if we needed to, but that's, again, that's more time-consuming. And personally, I don't see much of an advantage of it. But absolutely, we can punch in if we need to, and that all, saves time. And it just, makes for a better product, I think.
Yeah, no question. And I mean, this day and age, like I do a lot of recording myself. I'm a drummer and I do tracks for people. And I just find technology. I mean, why make life hard when life is easy? And I get some people say, oh, it's cheating or whatever. I don't find it cheating at all, man. You're just taking advantage of what's in front of you.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be like saying it's cheating to drive your car to work when you can probably walk.
Well, there you go. Or take the bus. With what you guys are doing, how many piece band are you when you're on stage?
4-piece.
4-piece. And is there a need or an opportunity or anything like that where you guys have to use any tracks or anything like that you have to play? Or are you totally live and armed and dangerous band?
No, everything that we do live 100%. I'm not thoroughly against tracks. It just depends on the situation. If they're using it for an instrument that they can't replicate live, maybe a 4-piece band has a keyboard part here and there, but they don't want to employ a keyboard player. Cool, I get that. But the other ones that, just basically they're going, full Milli Vanilli, I'm 100% against that. Or even the ones that have, maybe their own parts or being backed up with the tracks. I don't like any of that at all. That's not metal.
It's the one cheesy question I ask, Rich, because it seems to be every period, every website you're on, or every question that's asked of musicians, we'll call it the Eddie Trunk factor, where they all want to hear about tracks. And to me, I mean, there's so many other things that are more important about, up to and including how hard it is to make it in this business in the first place. The track shouldn't even be something that we have to, discuss. So, great answer. So now what do you guys have coming up? Like we said, there's probably, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months left in the year. What do you guys have coming up before 2025?
We're trying to get our first video shot, get that finished up. The weather hasn't been cooperating, not because of storms and stuff like that, although it's raining right now. It has more to do with the extreme heat and, what we have envisioned, which I'm not really ready to discuss the details of that at this time, because it's going to be cool. Trust me on this. But it's outdoor. A lot of it's going to be outdoor, and when it's 105 degrees, it's difficult to shoot in those situations. So we have some things ready, others not so much. And once we can finish getting it shot and I can edit the video, we'll get that out there, and that'll be for the song "Blood on Your Hands."
All right, so I guess last question here, and once again, it's Rock Rage Radio Network with Rich Stafford, and we're here talking about his band, the fact that they're on Curtain Call, the fact that they've got a lot on go, the fact that they have got a lot that's coming out, that, they're trying to move some things around. Where do my viewers, where do my listeners find out about you, what you're up to, and anything related to your band?
So of course, the website, metonicband.com. You can also search for Metonic Band on the socials, Facebook primarily. And, same thing with all of the streaming services as well.
Well, Rich, I want to say, I've been learning a lot since I started interviewing some folks with the Curtain Call label. I mean, it's funny that you think that music might be different in another part of the world, and there's an awful lot of things that are the same. But I learn from somebody every time, and I like what you're talking. But the sense I get from you is that something's going to come out when it's ready to come out, and you guys aren't going to force it.
Oh, absolutely correct. Yeah, because again, the product has to be good, or what's the point?
Right. Well said, my friend. I want to thank you for doing this on it's a sunny day where I am, but apparently a rainy day where you are. And I want to thank you for taking the time. We've been really having some fun with the Curtain Call folks, Brian, John, Gigi, and hey, man, now you finally get to meet you. So thanks for doing this, my friend.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to shout out my guys too.
Please.
Yeah, so we got George Rivera playing lead guitar, doing some background vocals. Chris Abbott on the bass. He's really kicking the crap out of that instrument, and he's also providing some background vocals. And then we have Andres McDowell on the drums, and he just keeps it solid. We keep the microphones away from him though.
Proper thing. I'm a drummer. I can relate. So thank you, my friend, and let's keep in touch. And I want to hear what you guys are doing coming up.
Cool. Hey, thanks, man.
Peace. Back on Rock Rage Radio after this.